coming down in the elevator now. Naturally, he went to the top floor first. His name is Vickers Smith. His occupation, humanitarian and former politician. He's famous for the murder of the tyrant Simeon Barda. He pleaded guilty and served 10 years in prison. He's a vegetarian who eats F-meat. And he is the final applicant to become your replacement, Mr. Fielding. Mr. Fielding, did you hear me? Mr. Smith is approaching now. Naturally, he went to the top floor first.
Naturally. Thank you, Ada. You can leave for the weekend.
Mr. Fielding, are you comfortable being left alone with him down there? He is a convicted man.
A man of conviction. He served his time. Ada, if and when I appoint my replacement, I expect you not to question it.
Yes, Mr. Fielding. Have a good weekend.
Mr. Smith.
Honor, Mr. Fielding. By instinct, I went to the top floor first.
What's underneath appeals more to me.
Beautifully crafted, aren't they?
You've no experience as a CEO. Let's not tiptoe around it. You also served time for murder. You were a ruthless politician, but now you're a great humanitarian.
That bastard was a dictator who let his people starve.
Now, what can you tell me about F-meat?
It's the most important thing to happen to mankind in the last century. Top quality synthetic meat for the starving masses. Packed with protein, affordable, renewable. It was the first synthetic meat to get the taste and texture right. First mass-produced hit.
And how does it taste?
It's delicious. I eat it every day like millions of people. Mr. Fielding, I can appreciate the gravity of this role.
You don't know the half of it. Eat up. If people knew you were here, it would be big news, hmm? If you were going to run this company, Mr. Smith, there are things you will need to know.
Naturally.
Clandestine things. There is one thing you will need to know. It's human.
Human?
Your food, Smith.
Is this a joke?
No, it's not a joke! Human flesh, you're a cannibal!
It's impossible.
No, it's delicious! Anyone
on, you know!
So sorry, I forgot this was here. Sometimes I process these right here in the office. Reminds me what this is all about. I'll just send it on.
Help!
Truly, my man, you're making a fool of yourself.
Why would I give you this kind of information and not secure the room? Will you come and sit down?
Help! Someone!
There's nobody here but us.
You sick fuck!
There's no need to be rude, Mr. Smith. Look, I'm sorry for the theatrics. I laid it on a bit thick, but I wanted to hit you hard right away.
With the fact you're feeding the world people? It's sick! You're sick! Let me out now!
There's a time delay on the elevator. I've given myself till Monday morning to convince you to run this company.
I will not run a company that chops up people and makes food out of them!
You will, and we hardly chop up people.
I won't!
We'll see. Is your stomach's talkative? Should eat something. You're an intelligent man. Think of the logistics of running an operation of this scale, the quality control alone. I'll have you know I put out a better product than chicken or beef. No need for farmland. All recycled materials. The bodies are collected, boned, and liquefied. Once the stem cells are harvested, the dead body of one man can grow thousands of pounds of flesh for the living. The only waste product is the bones and teeth. I can't just burn them. Do you know how much carbon that would have been?
Bones and teeth aren't waste. They're people's loved ones. Family. Friends.
Yes. And as such are laid to rest in proper graves. I own every funeral parlor and cemetery in the state. I get the flesh fresh, and I lay the bones to rest.
Don't you see the moral issue?
Moral? The poor can eat. I've cured famine, hunger, malnutrition. Livestock is hard. F-meat is only just human, only just. I didn't hear you complaining before you knew what it was, scoffing it down.
You will hang for this.
Not if you make the right decision. Continue my work. Say yes, you're free.
Just like that, eh?
F-meat helps so many people, Smith.
If people knew it was human, they wouldn't eat it, Fielding.
Are you sure? People sometimes struggle with things that are good for them. The general populace rejected immunization at first, then they warmed to the idea.
They rejected immunization because they had conflicting information and the lack of scientific literacy to navigate it. The concept of eating people has no room for misinterpretation. People already know what it is, and they choose not to do it.
They are both about the greater good. 48 hours is a long time. How long can you go without food, Smith?
You know how bad that is for you. How many times have I offered you real food?
How the fuck has nobody in this organization talked?
I told you. Nobody else knows. This is the perfect orchestra of controlled information and automation. It's my cross to bear. This is a role for a martyr. I thought you, of all people, would understand. You went to prison for your beliefs. You killed a man who let his people starve. Why are you being so irrational?
Irrational? It's human instinct to reject cannibalism.
Why? If it saves mankind.
It's built in.
How?
God.
God? Good Christians eat the body of Christ every Sunday at communion. Don't use God.
Evolution.
Evolution embraces human survival.
Education. A sense of right and wrong. Biology. Ancestry. Apes. Ask fucking neurologists. Psychologists. Fucking primatologists.
But I'm asking you, what is it for you?
Humanity. Empathy. Guilt. Shame.
None of which you have. If you don't run this company. You're an organ donor. What's the difference between saving lives with dead people's organs and saving lives with dead people's flesh?
Consent.
I would gladly have my body put in this machine to feed a family.
Tomorrow morning. What are you going to do to me if I say no?
The only plan is for yes.
Fielding? Fielding?
Mr. Fielding. Have you seen the media circus outside? They must have got wind of Mr. Smith's interview last week. How did it play out? Do we have a press release for them? Mr. Fielding, is everything okay? Are you there, Mr. Smith?
Yes.
So does this mean you've been successful in your application? Mr. Smith, are you the new CEO of F-Meat?